I'm finally going to get around to the setup and initial impressions of the personal Cellspot. I decided to just split this up into two different parts. One part is going to be for the calling and internet, which is pretty much why most people are going to get this thing in the first place. And the other one's for the more nerdy and technical stuff, yeah, like the printer sharing, file sharing, 4G, 3G sharing, etc. So this is going to be the one for the internet and the calling. So, sit back and enjoy. Greetings viewers, Adventure Link here. Back again with this video. Why? Because it's my channel. And we make videos on YouTube, unless you're Homer Simpson or Michael Jackson with the popcorn reading the comments. We make videos here. Welcome aboard, glad you're here, glad you're watching. How the heck are you? So, let's get started. First thing you want to do is, of course, unbag your Wi-Fi Cellspot router and these three antennas. I already took the liberty of doing that for you, obviously. Now, see up here with these three screw-in ports like coax inputs, you'll put in one antenna at a time. When you are finished, the router should look something like this. The next thing you want to do is plug in the provided Ethernet cord, or perhaps make your own up or buy a new one or whatever. You want to plug it into this blue Ethernet jack here, the one with that little globe with the little circle with the ring around it. You want to come over here and right at your switch or router or modem in this regard, there it is, E1 uplink. You'll plug in your cable there. Just as a heads up, that's why these switches and routers have that E1/uplink there. That way you can plug in additional switches, hubs, routers, etc. That's what it's there for. And just as a heads up, where it says option 2, if you were to have another router or switch or whatever, you'll plug one end into the E1/uplink into the existing router, switch, or whatever, and then one of the available yellow ports on the back of the Cellspot, that's where you'll plug in your existing hardware. Okay, so this is the AC adapter brick for our router. As you can see, it is 19 volts at 1.75 amps. Positive inside, negative outside. That side part matters. Say if this breaks and you need to get another adapter. Additionally, the voltage and the amperage there also matters too. Of course, you can have more amps. Like if you get a 2 amp adapter, you're fine. But you have to have at least 19 volts. Well, at 19 volts anyway. You don't want to over or undervolt things. Additionally, that polarity thing is important. Like if you're going to wire this thing up to a battery or something, like a battery pack, you want to get that polarity correctly. Otherwise, bad things will happen to you, because safety, structural integrity, quality, the right tools and parts for the job, and doing a job right the first time, every time, are #1 on this channel. We don't destroy things here. So with that being said, next thing you want to do is plug in your power adapter, and do that now. Next thing you want to do is plug this end into your modem. This turns the LED lights on and off. That's your power button. So let's go ahead and flip her over and see what she does. So it looks like the the globe light is up and the power light is on. And about a minute later, we have the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz lights on the router. So now we're ready for the next step, which is to get ready to configure your SSIDs. The too long didn't watch or didn't read or whatever version of this is you want to go to http://cellspot.router and a web browser on a device that's on your LAN, be it the computer, your cell phone, tablet, Wii U, PS3, etc. Either way, you want to log in and then enter your new network names and passwords. Then start connecting devices to your new network. And just as a very, very fair warning, this Cellspot is a T-Mobile owned device. You will be charged up to $99 if you fail to return the device after termination of service with T-Mobile or return it damaged. So be careful with this thing and make sure you return this when you're done with your T-Mobile service. Alright, so just a heads up, as you can see at the top here, I had to move all my devices from the modem into this new router. Apparently it just won't go. Despite it being plugged into this router in the first place, you would think everything would just go from there, but I guess not. So go ahead and move everything from your old modem to the new router. Then you want to come over to the computer and then put in cellspot.router, or you can try to go to Google or something. Either way, it's going to put you at the setup screen. So let's go to go. There's all the specs on it, by the way. Just so you know, the default username and password is admin, is the login, and password is the password. And as you can see, the router login information used for accessing your router's administration settings. Router login information is also used to access additional features like FTP, and I just said the username and password. So this is just the demonstration, so I'm going to show you my password. I'm going to change it later, so yeah. I'll be back. Okay, so with the password intact, I'm going to go to next. Oh, really? Okay, so minor technical error. Let's try this again. Do you want to use the default wireless security settings, yes or no? So we're going to go to no. That'll allow you to clear everything up. Put in a network name up at the top. You can put in your network passkey. And then you can click down here that says copy 2.4 gigahertz to 5 gigahertz settings. So if you want to use the same name for both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, you can do that, or you can put two different names on two different bandwidths. So enter a network key between 8 and 63 characters. Numbers or combination or 64 hex digits. The default wireless security setting is WPA2-personal EAS. If you do not want that set to network security, leave the security field blank, but this exposes your network to unauthorized access. So let's go ahead and set this up now. We're back. Hey, you like what I did there? iPhone! And pretty fly for a Wi-Fi. Don't worry, I'm gonna probably change these here pretty soon, or I'll probably leave them. Who knows? Now let's hit apply. Let's not remember these passwords. Let's not say we did. So with that being said, there's all your settings and how everything works. So let's click next. Alright, so we're back, and it asked me to put in my username and password, so we're going to do that and click OK. And if you get any prompts about saving your password, don't do that. And we are in the router. Woohoo! And from here you should be able to browse the web just fine. I'm going to try clicking on a few things and show it off. Refresh Yahoo. We're going to read an article. Or we're just going to try to search here. And everything works. So now the next thing you want to do is go over to your phone and set up the new network. Okay, so we are back at the iPhone. As you can see, we got iPhone on 2.4 and pretty fly for a Wi-Fi on 5 gigs. Let's go to the 5 gigahertz. That Netgear 08 just popped up from out of nowhere. Let's go down here. Then, of course, you want to enter your password, so I'll be back. Password's in. Let's join up. Hit the join button. Let's let that little wheel of death spin there for about a moment. And we're in. Yeah, just to make sure this works, we're in Safari. Do the same thing you did before. You go to Google or Yahoo. And there it is. Let's go to YouTube. And there's YouTube. Oh, and a special shout out to my friend Eric Northrup for his Royal Prom, which a little bit of background about that was this was a prom event for the special needs adults in northern Kentucky. It was a pretty cool event from what I heard. Too bad I didn't get an invite, but whatever. So with that being said, setup's over, everything works. So we leave the setup now, so if that's all you're here for was setup, then adios. Otherwise, if you're here for initial impressions, I welcome you aboard again. How are you? So let's get started with the initial impressions of this thing. Basically, what I'm going to be trying out is the main feature of this thing is to be a Cellspot enhancer and to have like 10,001 cell phone towers at once. So let's give it a go. There's good old 12 in touch again.
This is John Lomax, and thanks for calling Local 12 in Touch. Join me every morning before work and school for the news you need before you hit the door on Good Morning Cincinnati. For the Local 12 poll, press 1. For the Precision Doppler 12 forecast, press 2.
Okay, quality was obviously very good, but doesn't do any good when you're like, still within several inches of the router. So let's go somewhere else and try it again. Supposedly you can go all over the house with this thing, and even in the basement, but we're not going to go into the basement. Additionally, I would like to try this on my S5, but unfortunately iPhones use a smaller SIM card than Androids and all those, so I had to deactivate the old one and destroy that one so I can use the smaller one on my iPhone. So let's try this again in a different room in the house, and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back here in my back room. You can see I still got a decent signal even back here. Normally I would have a die-in back here on my old Wi-Fi. At times even the old, the standard T-Mobile internet would die off too back here, so let's just do what we came here for and get out of here.
This is John Lomax, and thanks for calling Local 12 in Touch. Join me every morning before work and school for the news you need before you hit the door on Good Morning Cincinnati.
That sounded pretty fluent. Safari. Let's reload YouTube. And unfortunately, although the call worked from back here, oh, there we go. It just took forever, and we even got new videos. So, oh, that explains everything. The 5 gigahertz signal just dropped, and my thing switched over from LTE to Wi-Fi and then back to Wi-Fi. I wonder if it's even finding the network in the first place. Nope. Apparently 5 gigahertz networks don't last that far back here. As you can see that, I think I shut off that 10X or whatever. That's not even coming up back here. Now it's wanting the password again, so... Okay, so, I just decided to just connect to the other network. Huh, the 10 network decided to show up back here after all. These things are finicky. Oh well. Back to Safari, reload YouTube. Well, at least YouTube loads a lot faster, that's for sure. Let's try the calling again.
This is John Lomax, and thanks for calling Local 12 in Touch. Join me every morning before work and school for the news you need before you hit the door on Good Morning Cincinnati.
Okay, so as you can see, 2.4 gigahertz obviously works a lot better than 5. At least in back rooms like these. So let's go outside and let's try it there. Okay, so we're outside here. Let's try reloading YouTube. I guess YouTube's loading up nice and fast, and it keeps changing everything on me, I think. There's YouTube.
This is John Lomax, and thanks for calling Local 12 in Touch. Join me every morning before work and school for the news you need before you hit the door on Good Morning Cincinnati.
Alright, that's enough of that. Settings, and just to make sure, we're on iPhone. So give me a moment to change over to Pretty Fly for a Wi-Fi, and we'll repeat the same test out here. We're back on PFFAWF, or Pretty Fly for a Wi-Fi. So, same test again. Open YouTube. Now, there's one way to refresh it. Click the YouTube browser bar and enter it again. Yep, things changed again, so we cool on YouTube. Now for the phone.
This is John Lomax, and thanks for calling Local 12 in Touch. Join me every morning before work and school for the news you need before you hit the door on Good Morning Cincinnati.
Alright. So that was pretty fluent out here. So, as you can see, there's my old Dodge minivan. We're on the Pretty Fly, we're on the Pretty Fly for a Wi-Fi network. Let's just see how this goes. See how far I can go with this before I start dropping stuff.
This is John Lomax, and thanks for calling Local 12 in Touch. Join me every morning before work and school for the news you need before you hit the door on Good Morning Cincinnati. For the Local 12 poll, press 1. For the Precision Doppler forecast, press 2. This is John Lomax, and thanks for calling Local 12 in Touch. Join me every morning before work and school for the news you need before you hit the door on Good Morning Cincinnati. For the Local 12 poll, press 1. For the Precision Doppler forecast, press 2. This is John Lomax, and thanks for calling Local 12.
Okay, I'm a considerable distance away from my Dodge minivan. There it is, all the way up there. So I'm quite a few houses away, and I'm still getting a signal. And the call dropped and switched over to signal. And as you can see, I'm quite a bit a ways from my minivan. Quite a few houses down with this hotspot from T-Mobile. Alright, so I'm a few more houses away and I just picked up on my Pretty Fly for a Wi-Fi. Let's try the internet. There's YouTube. Refreshing YouTube, reloading YouTube. So yeah, the internet works out here just fine. Okay, so we're back in front of the minivan again. This time on iPhone. Same number as before. Let's take another walk.
This is John Lomax, and thanks for calling Local 12 in Touch. Join me every morning before work and school for the news you need before you hit the door on Good Morning Cincinnati. For the Local 12 phone, press 1. For the Precision Doppler 12 forecast, press 2. This is John Lomax, and thanks for calling Local 12 in Touch. Join me every morning before work and school for the news you need before you hit the door on Good Morning Cincinnati. For the Local 12 phone, press 1. For the Precision Doppler 12 forecast, press 2. This is John Lomax, and thanks for calling Local 12 in Touch. Join me every morning before work and school for the news you need before you hit the door on Good Morning Cincinnati. For the Local 12...
Alright, so I'm about where the same distance was, where the call dropped. Right, it's dropping now. It just switched over from Wi-Fi to LTE. Or 4G, rather, sorry. Still about the same distance away from that Dodge minivan. And the call just officially dropped. Let's try the internet. Okay, so we're back on iPhone. As you can see, I'm still quite a ways away from my Dodge minivan, although not as far as before. So, let's try the internet again. Internet reloaded YouTube just fine, so, and just for grins and giggles, the 10FX whatever network, that was on my modem slash router thingy, the thing you saw before that you had to plug in the T-Mobile Cellspot into. Just for grins and giggles, let's do a side comparison with this too. Same gold Dodge minivan as before, same test as before, only we're on that 10FX network.
This is John Lomax, and thanks for calling Local 12 in Touch. Join me every morning before work and school for the news you need before you hit the door on Good Morning Cincinnati. For the Local 12 poll, press 1. For the Precision Doppler 12 forecast, press 2. This is John Lomax, and thanks for calling Local 12 in Touch. Join me every morning before work and school for the news you need before you hit the door on Good Morning Cincinnati. For the Local 12 poll, press 1. For the Precision Doppler 12 forecast, press 2. This is John Lomax, and thanks for calling Local 12 in Touch. Join me every morning before work and school for the news you need before you hit the door on Good Morning Cincinnati. For the Local 12 poll, press 1. For the Precision...
We're right about where we dropped. And this thing is still going strong. Or, something. I think it dropped. Let's try this again.
Thanks for calling Local 12 in Touch. Join me every morning before work and school for the news you need before you hit the door on Good
That's
Morning
funny. My own router can go a lot farther than a T-Mobile hotbox.
This is John Lomax, and thanks for calling Local 12 in Touch.
Yeah, we're like really far away from that Dodge minivan, and this thing is still going.
Good morning, Cincinnati. For the Local 12 poll, press 1. For the Precision Doppler 12 forecast, press 2. This is John Lomax, and thanks for calling Local 12 in Touch. Join me every morning before work and school for the news you need before...
So as you can see, when it comes to the signal strength in the house, there's no doubt that the T-Mobile hotspot is going to penetrate through your walls and your wood and get into the basement just fine. There's no doubt about that. However, when it comes to outside, and my own personal test, both the 2.4, which is an iPhone, and the 5 gig, which was pretty fly for a Wi-Fi, and then whatever 10FX, whatever is, which was my other router box thingy. In the outside test, both the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz on T-Mobile dropped right about the same time, or at least switched over from Wi-Fi to LTE or 4G or whatever you saw. And the 10FX outside was still trucking on, even as I was going farther and farther away. So, you know, make of it what you will. Your mileage may vary, but this is how my test went. So, with that being said, this was my setup and initial impressions, part 1 of the T-Mobile hotspot, or the T-Mobile personal Cellspot anyway. I am Adventure Link. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something from this, and hopefully got to see a somewhat fair comparison between my old router box and the new router box. Hopefully this gets you pumped up for your own personal Cellspot. Remember, this is still free on T-Mobile. Call your rep and get a box. It's $99 if you don't return it, or if you return it damaged. Well, it's up to $99 anyway, so thought I would drop that once again. Any comments or feedback, you know, I'm man enough to take it. Put it in the comments section. Rates and subscriptions, it's in the video description or thereabouts. You know how they work and what they do and how it goes. I appreciate your rates and subscriptions, as well as your comments and views. Feeling kind of warm outside, so as you can see, I'm standing here in the shade and staying cool, so I would ask that you do the same. When it's cool outside, you know, stay warm and bundle up if you must. Either way, eat right, stay healthy, and stay hydrated. Work hard, have fun, make history. Don't let others push you around. And this is Adventure Link signing off with the wise words of wisdom from Eric the Car Guy. Reminding you all to be safe, have fun, and stay dirty. And the wise words of wisdom from Jerry Springer. Take care of yourself and each other. See you all next time. Have a nice day.